told you a while back, didn't I, about how celebrities really do nothing for themselves. If you recall these particular pictures of Patrick J. Adams, you know, the co-star actor that appeared alongside the then thrust-in and budding actress Meghan Markle in the cable TV series Suits. Well, he recently put out these pictures and basically said, oh, he was missing his old friends, all that sort of stuff. And at the time I told you, no, it's not about that. It's about alerting people to the fact that he hasn't had any work for a while. This was his biggest role. And more importantly, there were rumours of a reboot. As ever, let me explain where this went. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to see you as ever. Thank you so much for joining me today on a wet and windy London day yet again. Terrible storm, so wherever you are in the UK, I hope you're taking care of yourself. You know, I don't know about you, I mean, I'll touch on this a little bit later, but how many blocked drains do we see? Why are they not clearing those? I'm sure if the ones down my road were cleared, we wouldn't have so much flooding. Again, you know, council are too busy painting, rainbow coloured flags everywhere, aren't they? We'll just leave that there for now. Back as ever, though, to your breaking royal story of the day. You see, it's a funny thing, isn't it? Because as you now know, and you may have read, that Suits, the cable TV series that Meghan Markle appeared in as a fifth cast member down the list, well, it's doing quite well, quite literally, on Netflix, the streaming giant. As I've said to you before, I think people really, there's so much lack of activity in the world of entertainment, all thanks to things like the writer's strike and really a sort of lack of new material that people look back and think, wow, I'll watch this, you know, or maybe I didn't see it the first time. Of course, a lot of people attributing this to the Markle power, you know, the fact that people really now want to see her as an actress. It's great PR spin, not necessarily the case, and it's one of the cheapest shows that you can download. And given the fact that Netflix have just put up the price of their subscription, let's see what it's like in a couple of months' time. But how true are the rumours of a Suits reboot? Well, quite true, apparently. You know, there's some sort of early signs of they think, well, you know, they could get around this. But you see, obviously, there's no way that they could afford or maybe even wish for La Markle to return to recreate her role of Rachel in that show. But a very well-placed source, who I know incredibly well working on that particular network, feels like they've got a way around this. And this is they can do flashback scenes, you see, which basically means they can incorporate Meghan into the brand new series, whether, of course, she appears or not. You know, this sort of terrible situation that perhaps her co-stars went under, re-looking at old cases. Now, you know, this may not seem the best idea, but as someone pointed out to me, they're in a bit of a no-win situation with this particular idea, you see, because if they bring it back and, you know, it's not a success without Meghan Markle, her team can claim, wow, you know, it was all down to her why the streaming giant did so well. If, of course, they bring it back and they go to flashback scenes, a little bit like they did with the super soaps in the 80s, do you remember, with Patrick Duffy in the shower, all that sort of stuff, you know, Bobby Ewing, if you remember that one. Well, again, you know, they're not too bothered. It doesn't really cost them that much money. What they do know is, of course, they could allude to the fact that she could be returning for a very special dream sequence. Maybe think about that as they did with The Crown and Princess Diana and the Ghost of. You get the picture. Either way, they're looking at all options to see if there's any last bit of money they can wring out of this series that wasn't a particular glittering success the first time around, and it has to be said, all thanks to her name of Royal Association helped people discover it another time. Curios, if you like. But either way, Meghan at some point will be returning to Suits, whether she likes it or not. And the bottom line is, she may not even get any residuals. Now that has got to hurt. And as ever, we have to say allegedly. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.